Hello, I'm Chef David of chefsresources.com. Today I'm going to be doing a review of a coffee and spice grinder. It is a hand grinder made by Triple Tree. It's available on Amazon for about 30 bucks, and they've got a number of other products available. They did send me this free in order for me to do a demo on. So let's unpackage this puppy and see how it works. Let's see, it is pretty nicely sealed in some styrofoam. And inside the box, you've got a couple containers and the grinder. So I'll put this together and show you what it's like. All right, so it comes with the main piece and a attachable deal for grinding. And then it's also got a separate vessel, so you can either store coffee beans or spices in this, or say you've made a specialty spice blend or your espresso or whatever, you can store some in here while you do further grinding in this one. It looks pretty easy to load. Just throw the top on. And it does come with ceramic grinders. They say it's best to wash with mild soap and water and not to turn it the wrong way. If you turn it counterclockwise, that can damage the ceramic grinders. So you're always going to turn it the proper way. So let's see, I'm going to do a couple different things. I'll show a number of grinds of coffee and a number of grinds of peppercorn. So you can see the coarseness from fine to coarse. And then I'll throw in a bunch of spices and see what that looks like. To adjust the coarseness or fineness of the grind on the spice and coffee grinder, you unscrew the base. And then right here you'll see there's a knob that you can adjust. Now it doesn't click into place like 1 through 10 kind of thing. It's just you keep on turning it clockwise or counterclockwise in order to get a finer or coarser grind. And let's see, clockwise is coarser, counterclockwise is finer, and you just keep spinning it one way or the other until you attain the coarseness that you're looking for. So I'll show you my test on some black pepper. So there you can see a number of different grinds. It probably has, I don't know, double that, if not even more, as far as adjustments possible. But as I adjusted from the left to the right, starting with the fine, I maybe went a full turn for the second one and maybe another full turn for the third one. And over on the far right, the coarse, where you basically have like cracked black pepper, that one I unscrewed quite a bit. So there's actually a lot of variation as far as the amount of grind that you can select. So next up I'll show you grinding coffee. So it does come with this nice little base. It's rubberized, so it's rather skid resistant and water resistant, that kind of thing. When you're going to add coffee or spice, you just take this off, pour in the top, and let's see if I can show you the ceramic grinder. Hopefully you can see that in there. So I'll fill this up with some coffee and show you a grind. Alright, I've added my coffee beans. I'll throw the lid back on. I've readjusted the grind so it's a finer grind. I'm not exactly sure if it's the grind that I would use for my espresso yet. I would have to play with that a little bit in order to get it where I want it. And you attach the top. And let's go. So I've definitely got an espresso type grind working here because it's pretty fine. That's almost. Okay, that's pretty dang close. So let's see if you can see that here. And I'll pour it out onto a plate so you can see as well. That's a good. So that's probably about enough, maybe for a double shot. Definitely nice and fine. Pretty consistent. Lastly, I'll go ahead and throw a mixture of herbs into this and we'll test that out. Alright, so I'm going to add a mixture of some different herbs. It's not anything I would actually use, but I'm looking at different sizes. So I've got some cardamom, some coriander seeds, some cumin, black peppercorn. I'm kind of distributing it each or equally because there's 4 little wells in here, or sections. Some fennel seed. What I'm looking for is, how well does it accommodate all these different sizes, and some yellow mustard seed. Especially this cardamom. That's pretty big. So anyways, I've loosened this up to be, I don't know, relatively smallish medium grind, I guess. Definitely nowhere close to the espresso grind that you just saw in the coffee. And I'll pour this out. So you can see it's relatively coarse. So if you want a little bit of crunch in there, that would be fabulous. But let's say you want it to be finer than that. So I'll take and tighten this up some. I'm running into resistance right there, so I'm going to go ahead and do a couple grinds just to see if I can get it even finer. It might be that there is some seeds caught in the burrs already. So now that I've done that, let's see if I can even get it a little bit finer. And yeah, I can. Not much though. Oh, screw it back on here. Alright, so I do see in here that the cardamom is just too big to actually grind. Everything else, all the other seeds here, went through just fine, but the cardamom seemed to be a little bit too big for it to actually grind, which that's not surprising because of how big it is. So if you were going to try doing something as large as cardamom, you would need to, you know, coarse chop it first with a knife to get it to roughly 1/3 or 1/4 that size. But all these other sizes work just fine. Okay, so let's see how that looks with a little finer grind. So comparing these two, you know, you can definitely see more chunks on this side. Still some chunks on this side, but pretty fine. I think that this would work really good for most of your dry rubs, that kind of thing. And it's definitely, you could get coarser than this one if you wanted to. That would be very easy to do. This is roughly maybe about 1/3 of the coarseness possible. So let's see. Do I like it? Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, it is a little bit of a workout to grind. I think as a chef, being able to grind my own spices would be really cool. And it's nice that it's got this separate other deal, so I can maybe keep coffee in one and spices in another. So would I recommend this? Yeah, I think it's a pretty good little device, especially if you like the hands-onness of being able to grind your own coffee or your own spices. So that's a wrap.